All right, let's talk about something that's changing. Well, pretty much everything about advertising. For what, the last 20 years? It's all about interruption, right? You search for something and a brand just jumps out in front of you. But that's all about to change. We're seeing this huge shift away from those cluttered search pages and into the clean, simple flow of a conversation with an AI. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. I mean, look at the difference. On the left, you've got the old way, that clunky, annoying banner ad that just gets in the way. And on the right, that's the future. It's a suggestion that's woven seamlessly into a conversation with an AI like Gemini. It doesn't even feel like an ad, does it? It feels like part of the answer. It's not an interruption anymore. It is the solution.
So here's how we're going to break this whole thing down. We'll kick off with the big idea, the advertising inversion. Then we'll get right into the nuts and bolts, how these offers actually work, how Gemini picks a winner, how you can build one yourself, and, of course, the big one, what this all means for, well, the entire ad world.
Okay, first up, the advertising inversion. And look, this isn't some small tweak. We're talking about flipping the entire playbook completely upside down. The whole game used to be about interrupting someone's journey, right? Trying to pull them over to your site. Now, the goal is to become the destination itself.
And this quote, this just nails it. In the age of agentic AI, the ad is no longer an interruption, it is the answer. Think about what that really means. It's not about showing up next to the best answer anymore. It's about your product being the best answer.
So how exactly does that happen? How do you go from being an interruption to being the answer? Well, it's a concept called conversational insertion. And at the heart of this is something called a direct offer. Now, forget banners, forget pop-ups, forget all that stuff. A direct offer is basically a structured piece of information about your product, but framed as a solution. And the AI presents it at the perfect moment, right when a user says they have a problem your product can solve.
What this means is the old game is over. You know, bidding on keywords like running shoes, that's done. Instead, brands now provide something called actionable context. You're essentially feeding the AI all the rich details it needs to figure out exactly when and why your product is the perfect solution for someone's very specific problem.
Okay, so that naturally leads to the next big question, right? How does an AI like Gemini actually decide which solution to show? Well, this is where we get into the engine room. It all comes down to something called the utility score engine.
So this decision happens in what's basically a real-time context auction, and it's fed by three main ingredients. First, what's the user's intent? What problem are they trying to solve? Second, what's the context of the chat? What have they been talking about? And third, there's the offer object from the merchant. That's the solution you're providing.
Let's peek under the hood at one of these offer objects. You can see it's way more than just a product name. It's about the benefit, like dries in 5 minutes. And this is the really important part, it's about the trigger, the specific problem, like a DIY repair, that this product is perfect for. So all that information gets crunched together to calculate what's called the utility score. This is the new metric that matters. It's replacing old things like keyword relevance. It's really just one score that answers a simple question. How perfectly does this solution fit this problem right here, right now? That's it. It's all about that perfect problem solution fit.
And that score isn't just a single thing. It's made up of a few key parts. It's not just, is this a useful product? The AI is also looking at your brand's trust score, and really importantly, your fulfillment speed. Basically, it's asking, can I trust you? And can you get this solution to the person fast?
All right, so we get the theory. We know what these offers are and how the AI chooses them. But how do you actually make one? That brings us to the practical side of things, engineering the direct offer. There are 3 essential steps to getting this right. And this is a really fundamental shift in skills. We're moving away from just copywriting and into something you could call context engineering. The 3 steps are, first, defining your semantic triggers. Second, building a transactional bridge. And third, establishing your authority grounding.
So let's break down step 1, semantic triggering. This is where you have to retrain your brain. You stop thinking about product names. You are not bidding on the phrase waterproof sealant. Instead, you're bidding on the problem. You're telling the AI, hey, when someone talks about a leaky pipe under their sink, that's my moment. That's my trigger. Okay, step 2 is building that transactional bridge. The tech behind this is something called the Universal Commerce Protocol, or UCP. This
This is the magic piece that makes the whole thing feel so incredibly smooth and seamless. It's what lets a user buy something without ever leaving the chat.
So let's just walk through what this zero-click experience actually looks like. The AI suggests your sealant, the person says, yep, that's the one. They don't have to go anywhere, they just say, okay, get that one.
And then Gemini just handles it. It talks directly to your system using that universal commerce protocol saying, hey, let's confirm this order. The user, they do nothing. They just watch.
And boom, done. Gemini confirms it, your sealant is on its way. The entire purchase, from discovery to checkout, happened inside one window. The user never clicked away. That right there is a truly seamless, zero-click transaction.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most crucial step, authority grounding. You have to remember, the AI is putting its own reputation on the line here. It's acting like a trusted friend or an expert advisor, so it is only going to recommend brands it can absolutely verify. It's going to look at the real stuff, verified reviews, industry certifications, your customer satisfaction history, even things like carbon-neutral shipping. All of this feeds into your trust score.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. What's the big takeaway from all this? It means we are entering a totally new phase. You could call it the utility economy. And what it really signals is the beginning of the end of the good old attention war.
Think about it. The metrics we've obsessed over for years, impressions, clicks, views, they start to matter a lot less. The new question, the new KPI that defines success is incredibly simple. How many problems did my brand solve today?
The strategic shift you have to make is this: stop fighting for attention. That whole era of just trying to shout louder than everyone else to get eyeballs, it's over.
The new game is all about solving problems. It's about being useful, being the answer, being that seamless solution. Advertising is turning into a genuine service. So really, the only question left for you to ask yourself is, how many problems are you going to solve today?